Angel, and we're gonna do a Gimp tutorial because I noticed that some of the people in the competition I'm in, which is, I'm gonna show you, Miss World. This is Zita's page. She's the one who runs this competition, and I noticed that some people have problems editing, and I guess they need some help. This is some of the stuff we do here. Here, let's see. Here's one. Hey, Andrew. Here's Andrew. He's Miss Cypress. Let's see. There's different renders we do. There's Richie Rich, Nicole. Not my sister one, but the other Nicole. I mean, different things. Hey, April. There's different people. So, if you want to join Miss World, you should follow Zita at @Simphora_Miss World. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna do the tutorial on how we do these kind of renders. Well, different people use different software, but I use Gimp, and so does my sister. So this is what we do. On Gimp, you have your selection of brushes. Some of these are downloaded, but these are like your basic ones. The sharper edge ones are good for cutting out straighter lines if you have to erase, and these are softer. They're good for blending stuff together. So you have your patterns you use with the bucket tool. You may have to pull the little thing here. When to start your render, though, if you're doing a challenge like this, like Zita gives us a word or a specific, well, I guess, challenge depending on whatever we're doing. Like we're doing the Sims resource, so she gives Anto hair. Okay, Anto hair is a little tricky because it's alpha, and alpha hair is a little tricky to cut against, but I do feel like background is stuck in the speckles of the hair. Let's see, we have new, you click new image to open a page, and we'll do 128720 is a good render size. Another good one is 1000, that's 100, by 1000, that's 14,000, oh god, by 1000, and 1200 by 1200. Depending on what kind of size you're doing on your sim, and what kind of body you're going with, if you're going like a full body or half body or a bust up shot. This is good, I'm Italian. This is good for full body, or if you can fit it in these smaller sizes, that's also good. But let's see, so your bucket tool is this, it fills in different patterns, and you click on this tool option for your opacity levels, which lowers the opacity down. Let's see, we're on pattern fill, which fills in the patterns over here. If you click on here, you have several different kind of patterns you can use. So, like, let's say we want opacity 100, electric blue. That is very blinding. And to go back, you push undo history and undo the last operation. If you want to lower the opacity, go 40. Let's just say 45.6. It's a lot lighter. Opacity is good for whatever kind of things you need to do. I don't know. Let's see, FG fill color fill. That is just like your basic color fill option. It was supposed to be black. I forgot. Well, we have opacity back up, and now it's black. But if you want to do the Miss World, we're gonna start with the 1200 by 1200. So for this, ignore all the weird files we have because we just got done with our new renders. You go to File, you push Open, and you push Documents. I can't even think today. Documents, not pictures. You go to Documents. Whenever you take a picture and it goes through the screenshots, you put the screenshots into the Documents file, and it'll show up on here. It's not responding. It's being stubborn. It always is. Alright, let's see. So, for these, here, did I put the photos in? I swear I did. Where did they go? Oh no. They disappeared. Let's see. I think these are, yeah, that's the ones we use for the renders. There's Nicole's. What is this? Ah, here's the background I was looking for. Get back. Alright, I got some different things to help with the render. Where did my files go? I'm lost. I put them in the documents, and now they're gone. Okay, so we're just going to use this background for example. And I know that we get some text with white around it, and we have to cut them out ourselves, so I got different options to show you how to cut out the text without it looking odd. I lost my Miss. I was using Miss South Africa, which is the one I'm doing. Oops. Where did she go? Oh god. I lost her. This is not a very helpful tutorial, is it? Because I lost her. Hold on. Maybe it's not just showing up because it's been stubborn. Okay, let's see. Where is she? I see yoga mats. That's the whole thing either. Aha. I think they're down here. Aha! They're down here. Sometimes they go switch places on you. Alright, you open those. Okay, I forgot to bring a long sleeve shirt so this didn't happen. Alright, I got different shots with different hairs and poses to show you how to cut out the sim and what some of the problems that you'll run into if you use light with a light pastel background like this. So you push the fuzzy select tool, which is the little wand with a star. It's a magical wand. You go over here to the little eyeball. You right click on the mouse, and you see this. This is your layer selection and your alpha channel. You click alpha channel with the little wand tool and push this. Now you run into the problem like this. Is whenever you do delete it, and if you're wearing white and have a very light background, it deletes your arm. That is a problem. Okay, so to fix this, if you're wearing light clothing and you have a very light, bright background, go out of it, you push to the side over here to get the selection tool away. What you do is you zoom in very far, you go to the eraser, click on this little board, your opacity 100, size your brush down as far as you need to. It's a little square now. So we'll zoom in more. Very close. Okay. So you see the light reflects off the background and creates a shine. So to deal with this, you just erase around very gently, and no one's perfect, so I mean I may mess up a little bit and cut her arm, but then I just go back and redo it again until I get it right. I'll just keep going down. Sometimes it likes to be stubborn, and you know. Yeah, I know there might be some little purple particles, but we have a way to fix that also. Okay, so I noticed that this part of the arm was getting cut off, so we just erase around the whole part right here. Not the whole sim, just the part where it was cutting into, because of this really light, bright color. So keep in mind if you're wearing really light colors, that it will leave your arm cut off, or like the part of the picture that cuts off whatever part is really light, depending on what you use and what kind of clothing. Okay, let's see if that worked or not. So you go back out to the original size. Alright, let's see. And there you go. She is no longer cut off. And you do this. Perfect. Now click out. And you notice that you still see purple around her hair and her hands. Okay, that's a problem. So, right click back over here where you did alpha selection and push alpha channel to push alpha to selection. That's selection in a different way. You go up to select, and when you do this, you push shrink. Shrink set to 1. Push OK. Go back up to select, push invert. Now push delete on your keyboard. And when you do that, there's no more purple. It is clean cut, and there's nothing wrong with it. Now, to brighten up your sim, go in colors, brightness and contrast. You can brighten it up however much you want, what you like better to your preference. I'm just doing 16 by 18. You can also go into saturation if you want to add more of a brighter kind of tones to her skin tone or her hair or clothes, depending on what she's wearing. You can also go into filters. There's all your options for blur, enhance, distort, light and shadows. If you want to add a drop shadow, just push that and it adds a drop shadow behind her, depending if you're singing behind the wall or something like that, then you can do that. Or you push enhance, you can push sharpen. What it does is sharpen the image. Don't sharpen too much or it looks like, really pulls out the colors too far. So you want to sharpen it a little bit, then keep it kind of low, but you can still notice a difference by, like this. See, there's not, and they're sharpened. You can still see a difference, but I don't want to sharpen it way too much. You can still see a subtle difference. So now that you have your mist cut out, and yeah, is there something wrong with this? Hold on a minute. Okay, no, it's just the shirt. Alright, so you have her cut out. She's edited to her light and shadows and stuff like that. What you do is you select what size you want to put the background on, and I'm going to do this one. When you go back here, you click on this white, and you click on images, and this will show all of your images up. So you click on the scenery, and you drag it like that. Then you go up to here and the scale tool. And then you do the scale tool, you scale it, and you make sure these are locked. You have to have this chain locked and linked together, otherwise your mist will look squished. And you don't want mist squished. You want to keep it not squished. Alright, so we'll just shrink the backdrop down to whatever size you want. It doesn't have to be exactly the same size as the thing, you just do this. Alright, so when you do this, you click on the image. Right here you can see the little alpha channel dots right here, but it's not going to show up like that when you do it. You pull the mist in, you shrink her down, and you scale her. And there she is. But if you do it with the chain unlinked, like this is what happens. You can stretch it out really far or really way too thin, and you don't want your mist looking like she's silly putty. Like, that's not good. Okay, so when you link the chain, you reset, link it, it only goes from bigger to smaller. And you cannot stretch it out. This only keeps it at a certain size. So there's two now. They're sisters. There. But if you want to do a different pose, I put her in this outfit. I have several different poses for intricate and closer up even. Okay, so let's say that we want to use, this is a farther up, this is kind of, we'll use this one because the hand is in it. So we do the same thing. We right click, or you select the little wand, right click, add alpha channel, click on this, delete it, add to alpha selection, go up to select, push, shrink by 1, keep it on 1, invert, delete again, keep the pesky particles away, back to brightness and contrast in your colors, pull up the colors to whatever way you want to. Alright, and you can even add saturation. You can play around the exposure if you want, or the color temperature, which can make it really cold looking or really warm. Okay, that sounds scary, but it just depends on what you want to do and what we're doing in the challenges. So you want to sharpen it, then you sharpen it to whatever you want. Okay, so now she's cut out. There's no pesky particles anywhere. We have our backdrop. There's 2 on that one. Let's pull in this backdrop. So you push scale, images, click on the image you want. Over here in the corner with the eyeball where you've been doing alpha selection, you just click with the left mouse button and drag it. And now you got a smaller image of the image you selected. Scale it and make sure that chain is always locked so it will not warp the photo. Alright, so we have our photo right here for a headshot, and make sure it doesn't cut off at the bottom where you can see the backdrop behind her. And here's her headshot photo. Now, since we've been getting, and we'll do a more intricate design, or one like this, that's still kind of close up, but you can still see the body shape is different, and it's not any different than what you've been doing. Wand, add alpha channel first. You delete the different section layers, delete those, and then make sure you check these because there can be little particles. Alpha selection, that will select the whole thing you just deleted. Go back to select, shrink, invert, delete again. Okay, now she's clean cut. Now go back to the colors. You can do the brightness and contrast, whatever you want, like I said. And saturation if you'd like to make the reds and the oranges and whatever you have on to pop better. And let's see, you can, like I said, you can sharpen, or you can add a shadow if you want. Let's see, sharpen. Let's pull the radius down some. I don't want it too sharp. Let's see. We have this one left, 1200 by 1200. Just do the same thing, push the scale, click on the image, left mouse drag. Wait, I forgot to put the image in. Oops. Put the background off in first, or depend after, whatever you depend what to do. Alright, now scale the image to fit, or a little, it's going to overlap, but it never shows the corners. Now you click on this, pull your miss in, and you scale her like that. Now push scale. It's not going to show the whole image, of course, but she looks like she's free in this photo. I'm very happy. We have sometimes PNGs will not actually be a PNG. They will show up and lie to you. So you have the white backdrop behind your text or your image you want to put in with your other image. Like, I got some different types to show you how to cut these out without messing them up. So you just do the same thing as the photo, and you push. And this one's already in alpha channel because some of them will still be in alpha channel, but they won't be just the words. They'll still have the white background. So you have to push the wand, select that. Always use alpha selection to make sure there's no particles. Do the same thing. You shrink it, then invert, delete it. And there's your text. You can brighten it if you want, or contrast and make it pop like this more. And then all you do is just go into the photo you want to select. I'm deleting one of these because it's kind of confusing. Alright, let's see. And then you push the image, the scale tool, right here, drag it out, and you will have your text to put in wherever you want. And usually Zeta will give us our prompt text, which we have Anto here, so she gave us the Anto one. Last time we had the Sims Free Pass, which was a trickier one to undo. So it took us hours to uncut that one because you had to use the eraser tool to get in there, and then I had to redraw over with the pencil, or the pencil is good to redraw over text if it cuts that out. Like, let's see, let's do this one. Alright, this one's not in alpha channel, so that one is a fake PNG. Alright, so it will select it like we did before with the miss. Delete. We're deleting all these little white parts inside the text. And as you say, there's still white around it. That's the problem. You alpha select. You shrink it. You invert it and delete. It looks pretty good, but sometimes you have a problem with it being too small again, or thinning it out way too much. So you push alpha to selection. You can push the pencil. You go into the tool options to make sure your opacity's up, and you can push your brush like this. Let's see. See, it's kind of faded. You can use the brush and just size up the brush right here, brush size. But we want to make sure the opacity is 100, and you can go over this with, I mean, it's going to be fatter, like bigger text, much thicker than, because the brushes are bigger. But you can always make the brush smaller if you want, to thin, make sure it's thinner. But this is just an option too. Let's see, go like up here and around. You just go over the text. By doing alpha selection, it will not go out of the lines. So, and wee-woo to the cop car. Interesting. And yes, it makes the lines bolder and thicker. But you can always make the brush size smaller if you want to make it more thin and defined, because it is cursive, so it's, But you get the point with that. And then you can always pull the text in. I'll just delete this part and just use the original, because it doesn't look that bad. Sometimes it's worse than this, depending on what kind of PNG they have and how little the text and little crevices in there are, and it's hard to get the white out of the thing, but usually alpha selection will do that and get it out. So we will click on our photo. We want to put flawless in, and it is this one, I believe. You will do the same thing you've been doing. Blend the text. Aha! So you see there is white particles that I want to hide. I see that. So what you can do to fix this is you zoom in, make sure you're on scale, click on the eraser, thin it up very tiny, You just be very careful when you're erasing also, because sometimes you can mess up a little bit. But you can also always go back over the lines with the brush if you want to define the lines better and you won't really see the white as much doing it that way. Like I said, it just depends on what kind of PNG you get, and usually if you can tell if it says, for instance, what are they going to call the ones that are phonies, index? Yeah, index. If they say index on them when you're trying to download them, it's a phony. So you can just go over with the eraser tool, make sure that layer is selected, the text you just put in, it usually will auto-select, and just erase the little particles. Get the E cleaned up and this. It takes a little bit to do, depending how steady your hands are also. Clean up a little bit around here and here. If you erase a little bit of the text, then all you gotta do is go back over to your undo history and do that. Try again. Okay. Now you zoom back out to the original 66.7%. Looks a lot better, doesn't it? And you can't even see if there's any white really in there at all. I noticed. Let's see. So you have this. She's flawless. And if you want to add a hot air balloon. Alright, let's see if this one's going to be hard to do. You just do the same thing. Add alpha channel. The magic tool. Now just delete it. Alright, zoom in. You're going to need to. You see all these little particles. And you see how thin the rope is. Add alpha selection. This is going to delete the rope off, so don't worry about that. You shrink it down. Invert. Delete. Oh no, our rope has disappeared. Help us. That is easy to fix. Now, you still have some particles. Erase them. Okay, so you notice that our rope is gone. What you can do is click on the color picker right here, the dropper, color picker tool. Click on the basket. Use your pencil tool. Make sure this is really thin. You can draw back in your rope. It's not going to be perfect lines, but then again, what rope is perfect because it's flying. You can also add, when you go back out, it looks better. You actually have rope, but it doesn't look, you can't really tell it's drawn in either from such a distance, so you don't have to worry about it. You can brighten up your colors if you'd like to on your hot air balloon. Make it really bright and pretty. Okay, so we will pull this into the photo behind her on the shot. Click on your images, click on this one, click back on your scale. Now it's on her face. Alright, don't worry about that. So it's on her face, so a way to pull in your PNGs and stuff, put it wherever you'd like to. When you scale, you right click on the image, see how it's highlighted around the eye, pull down the layer under her, it shows white line, and it goes behind her. And then you click on background, she gets the little yellow lines away, so you can see the whole thing and what you're doing. So we have this one, this type of text. We had cursive, we had more bold, and we have more finer, straighter lines. Just do the same thing. Add alpha selection, and you do this. Magic wand, delete it. The O wanted to be stubborn. There we go. Now alpha selection, you shrink and invert it. You don't have to do anything to this text, it looks fine. So what you do is that you will click on the image you're going to put the text in. And let's see, I think this one's the right one. Click on this one, pull it in. Now it's behind her, you can't see it. So you pull it over, like I showed you. Click on this, it will highlight the eye and the photo itself. You drag it all the way up to here until you see a line on the top, and you'll see the text is on her face, but don't worry. Scale it. Whatever size you would like. Put it in the corner wherever you want to in your render, depending on what you want to do. And you're good. So, let's see. It's mostly using alpha channel, alpha selection, invert, and shrink, and even the eraser sometimes you need to, and the saturation and highlights and stuff like that. Your files, remember, open your images, and I'll walk you through all this. If there's other extras up here, I didn't know if I need them or not. But, depending on your pose, you did this. We turned from the original purple background with little speckles and stuff. We have this one. We have this. And this. For an example. These are your more fuller body types. So 1, 280, 720 is a good one for that. 1000 by 1000 is good for your up close shots. 1200 by 1200 is good for your about medium length, like knee up even shots, depending on what pose you're doing. So you don't have to worry about that. So this is a tutorial on how to use basic stuff for doing render edits, and even if you want to do thumbnails and stuff like that, depending. But another thing you can also use if you want to make your own text is if you go into up here and you see this little thing, it says fonts, and yes, some of these are downloaded, but let's say we want to click this one. You push the A, the text tool. You can select your color. I'll do purple. Then you write, and it disappeared. Oh yeah, because it's down there. So I wrote hello. Pull up the text. Aha, there it is. A way, if you don't want it to cut off, is you push space. Aha, when you click on it, go in front and push enter and space. Pull it out, and you just scroll over it with select. With the right mouse, you just click and drag over the text, and you push change size of selected text, and it will pull the text all the way up to whatever size you want. When you do that, you can push scale tool, drag it from the middle square, put it wherever you would like to, and push scale. And there's your text. A fun way to edit your text also is if you have that selected, it's going to be dots right here. You left click, add to alpha selection. And a fun thing you can do with ombre is when you push the paintbrush, you select whatever color you want. Let's do a teal, like a deep darker teal. You go into the little tool options, the opacity's down, pull the size up some, and when you have it selected, it will not go to the lines, and you can pull the opacity up a little bit, and when you color it, it makes a two-tone, different colors. Let's add another color at the top. Let's add a, let's see, pink. Let's add a purplish pink at the top. And you can play around with whatever kinds you want. Click on the one, click out of the photo, zoom in, and you have different colors on your text. 3, if you would like. You can want to edit it that way. You can also do this with these kinds of text. If you just do the very same thing, alpha selection, let's make it blue. And the same thing, paintbrush. You can do that, or you can pull the opacity down more if you want to do it that way. This, and you can even do, let's do green, something crazy. Green, blue, and there's still black in the middle, but it just depends on what you want to do, and yeah. So you can undo that if you don't like it, and then click on the side of the photo, and it's back the way it was. Push background to see your full render. So this is how you make renders for Miss World, or any kind of beauty competition on Twitter, or if you just want to do thumbnails, or just make renders with, like, tell a story with your sim. The Sims 4, you can do that. Also, in the description there will be Zeta's Miss World's link in the description. There will be my Twitch also in the description if you want to check out that, because I play horror games or just like adventure type of games. like story based. And so this is what we made. You have your about full body, it's about ankle up. But you know, so you can shrink your marker when you're smaller. But you gotta make sure that your miss is pulled upwards more into the photo also, because you have to have your miss in the center. Here is a headshot photo, and here is about waist up. So I hope you found this helpful in some way, and I hope it helps you learn how to use Gimp more. Of course, there's other features on here, and this is just what I use and what I do for mine that you can find and explore your other ways to do whatever you want to. But it's fairly simple. It's free. I'll also link Gimp into the description below so you can download it, and also I'll link thefont.com in there where you get fonts for like text like these, tons of these. You can even get a Vogue one, because remember one time in this world we had to do Vogue, and we had to download the text for it. It looked like the magazine. So they even have candy cane writing. Like for instance, let's do green. And again, it's behind there. But let's pull the photo up. Woo! It's candy cane. So I hope you found this helpful and help you out with making renders and whatever you want to use this tutorial for. So if you have any questions, you can leave a comment down below. I'll link my Twitter. My DMs are always open if you have any questions on there. I have my Twitch in the description. I'll have Zeta's link in the description. I'll have my mom's and sister's Twitches and YouTube's in the description also, and Twitter's. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope it helped you out. Bye!